You ever have one of those moments where your brain just freezes because what you're seeing doesn't make any damn sense? That was me, standing in my garage, staring at an SUV I didn't recognize, parked smack in the middle of my floor like it belonged there. My workbench was pushed to the side, my ladder tipped over, and the kicker? My Harley had a fresh scratch on the gas tank. Deep one, too. Like someone with zero respect squeezed past it without even a second thought. Then I saw the note. Pink stationery. Loopy cursive. Taped to my wall like a damn kindergarten art project. It read, "Borrowed your space. Hope that's okay. K. K." And I knew exactly who the hell K was. Karen, the self-proclaimed queen of the neighborhood, president of the HOA. And all-around menace with a smile so fake you could bounce a quarter off it. She lived 2 blocks down. In the house with the permanent seasonal wreath and a lawn that looked like it was photoshopped. From the minute I moved into Clearbrook Meadows, I knew she was trouble. She didn't greet me with cookies or a welcome card. No, she showed up with a clipboard and told me the color of my driveway sealant was too glossy. But this was war. My garage is my sacred space. I poured my soul into that thing. Insulated the walls myself, put in motion sensor lights, smart lock, reinforced door, whole setup. It's where I go to breathe. And now this woman had just strolled in with a universal clicker, opened my sanctuary like it was her personal parking spot, and acted like she was doing me a favor. I called her. No answer. Walked to her house. Her husband peeked out through the blinds like I was the IRS, then vanished. And in that moment, I made a decision. If she wanted to treat my garage like a storage unit, I'd treat her car like abandoned property. I locked the garage, disconnected the opener. She left her keys inside the SUV, which honestly made this too easy. I rolled the car back a bit, just enough to park my bike securely again, and then I started researching. Turns out, in my state, if someone leaves a car on your property without permission for more than 72 hours, and you've notified them properly, you can legally have it towed and auctioned. Game on. I printed the notices. One went on her mailbox, the other on the SUV windshield. Sent a certified letter too. I called an auction house, explained the situation. They said as long as I followed the law, they'd handle the rest. She didn't notice the first day, but the second day, I saw her walking her little rat dog past my driveway. She clicked the remote and got nothing. Clicked again. Nada. Stared at the door like it had personally betrayed her. I watched from my office window, coffee in hand. That moment was delicious. Day 3, she finally came to my door. Tried to play it sweet. Asked if I'd seen her car. I told her I hadn't been in the garage much. Maybe it got towed. She squinted at me, trying to decide if I was stupid or smug. I let her wonder. Next morning, she sent Terry, one of her HOA goons, to discuss a misunderstanding. I handed him a copy of the state statute and a screenshot from my security cam showing her entering my garage without permission. He left looking pale. But Karen? She wasn't done. Oh no. She organized a little emergency HOA meeting under the gazebo, printed flyers accusing me of vehicle theft, and tried to get the neighborhood riled up. I showed up with my own manila folder full of evidence. Printed photos, timeline, legal documents. Even a short clip on my tablet of her parking the SUV and walking off like she owned the place. Then Esther, an older board member who never said much before, stood up and said, loud and clear, "Karen, I remember when you broke into my husband's workshop and took his tools, said it was a maintenance inspection. You never gave them back." Boom. Silence. Just the wind and the sound of Karen's jaw hitting the pavement. I told her she had 24 hours to remove the vehicle or it was being auctioned. That night, she tried to break into my garage. Caught it all on camera. Black hoodie, fumbling with the keypad like some discount cat burglar. Sent the footage to the cops. Next morning, police came by, reviewed everything, and said I was well within my rights. Told me they'd keep an eye on the house, just in case. I didn't need them, but it was nice to know. At exactly 9 a.m. the next day, The tow truck rolled up. Leon, the driver, was this laid-back guy who looked like he'd seen it all. He checked the paperwork, nodded, and said, "Let's make it quick." Right as we were loading the SUV, here comes Karen, tearing down the street in her golf cart like a banshee late to a PTA meeting. Screaming, waving her phone, recording. She shouted that this was theft, that she was going to sue me and the auction house. Leon didn't even blink, just kept working. I pointed to the legal notice taped to the windshield, told her it was all documented. She lunged for the SUV. Leon stepped in front, said, "Ma'am, this vehicle is in legal custody now." Neighbors started coming out, watching from porches, filming. One lady had popcorn. Karen flipped the switch. Instant tears. Claimed she was being harassed, that she feared for her safety. Tried to turn it into a sob story. That's when Esther stepped up again. Said, "Karen, you've been terrorizing this neighborhood for years. This man just finally had the guts to stand up to you. That tow truck pulling away might as well have been the royal carriage taking the queen into exile." Karen screamed it wasn't over. But she was wrong. It was. Her fake lawyer sent me a letter. My real lawyer replied with a binder of evidence and a warning shot. The HOA kicked her off the board. Her clipboard, that sacred symbol of her reign, was found in the clubhouse trash. Then came the audit. Esther and the new treasurer found out Karen had been collecting bogus fines. Over $20. 000 misappropriated. She'd made up violations, cashed personal checks, and funneled it into a private account. People she'd intimidated for years finally came forward. Statements were filed. Cops got involved. Turns out, parking in my garage was just the tip of her corruption iceberg. And the best part? When the news station came to do a segment on HOA abuse, they filmed it right in my garage, right next to my Harley, my new toolbox, and the little plaque I hung over the workbench. This property bites back. So yeah, that's how one pink note turned into the biggest neighborhood reckoning Clearbrook Meadows ever saw. And I have one question for you watching this. If someone parked in your garage without asking, what would you do? Leave a comment. Let me know. Because sometimes justice doesn't shout. It just waits until it's legally parked, properly filed, and rolling off on a flatbed with a signature and a smile.